without further ado, I have Zack Fasel and Matt Jakubowski. Please give them a warm round of applause.
Already?
This is PCI HIPAA and you, right? Can you guys hear me on this mic because I don't hear any feedback? No? Barely. Here, no? Try this one. Use this one. Let's get a little slack in here. Got it? Sweet. Yeah, now I hear myself, which isn't a good thing. So before I get started, I made a drunken promise, and I'm a man of my word. So a buddy of mine who I met in the bar last night has a first-gen iPhone he would like to sell, and this is the perfect market for it. $150, Twitter T. Kimball, Kimball. Yeah, I stand up to my promises. I was drunk. Anyways, moving on. PCI HIPAA and you, we're going to get started with femtocell insecurities. I figured we'd scare off the people who were just kind of casually poking their head in. Hi, I'm Zack Fasel. This is Matt Jakubowski. Jaku. So, Lord, cool. So I like to start off every talk I kind of give with a heads up as to what this talk is about and what it's not. Because if you want to sit here for the next 45 minutes to an hour, I don't want you to sit here and be swearing my name after the talk going, why did I stay? So first of all, what this talk is about. We're going to be talking about distributed wireless communication devices, aka an acronym I made up called femtocells. We try to keep the name kind of different so it didn't scream. We're going to do a quick overview of cell technologies. You got to know how cell phones work in order to take and, wow, that light is moving. Ooh, look at the light. We got to do an overview on cell technologies to understand, how these femtocells work for GSM and CDMA, since those are the two products out here in the States. We're going to talk about how the femtocells work, a little bit about hardware hacking, security implications of femtocells, and what we found on femtocell insecurities. What this talk is not. We're not going to just say potentially, theoretically, maybe, sort of, kind of, but I will say the word potentially a lot, because there's a lot of things I can't do legally, and I won't do those things legally. Illegally. I was waiting for a schmooball. Thank you. I hand out this many, and no one, yeah. Oh, and by the way, fake vendor-specific balls, not schmooballs, but vendor-specific lookalikes are up here if you want some. Feel free to abuse them. So yeah, this is not some, God. This is not,
What did I do?
Hey, mobile disco. And that's it. I'm out. All right, cool. And it's not elite 0-day talk. I'm not going to be dropping some big 0-day bomb on you. What? Sorry. Oh, throw like a girl. I was like, I'm a girl? What? What did I do now? We're not going to talk about how to cross into gray areas of the law, and this is not our old talk, Gentleman's Agreement Part 2. Most importantly, this is not a sales talk brought to you by Trustway Spy Labs, leading source of security services and products with over 9,000 served. I'm moving on. So who we are and such. Hi, I'm Zack Fasel. I'm breezing through this slide very fast because everyone hates these slides, but they're necessary in a PowerPoint.
I'm going to drag mine
Thank you. Jaku's going to actually talk about himself.
I'm Matt Jakubowski. I work at TrustWave. Don't throw smooth balls at me. All right, and on a serious note, though, if anybody knows where McDonald's gets their McRibs, please let me know. Where in Chicago? I know they're in Chicago.
He wants a bulk supply.
I want a bulk supply.
All right, and last and final plug. I'm sorry, these have to get done. No, they don't, but ThoughtCon, me and Jaku are helping run it with two other awesome people. We're having a HackerCon in Chicago in a bar, kind of off of You Shot the Sheriff, which is also an awesome con. If you're ever wanting to go internationally, head out to YSTS. April 23rd, Chicago. We won't be disclosing the location unless you buy a ticket. No tickets at the door, obviously, for that reason. It's going to be a bar somewhere in the city, available by public transportation. Come on out. Here's the people we got talking. As you can see, Heidi and Bruce are making their way out. And a few other awesome people. And a few people who have never talked before, which is kind of cool. So it's a good mix. And if the talks suck, you can drink more. So again, last obligatory slide. Don't be stupid. Cool? Some of the stuff we're talking about today, if you push it further and further and further and further and further, could be used to violate FCC, other federal, local, state laws, etc. You don't want the Verizon guy jumping out of a helicopter saying, "You've been served, can you hear me now?" So don't be stupid. So yeah, we're gonna really quick talk about the cell technologies here in the States, because that's what I care about. I live here in the US. I know, very American of me, right? Just to bring you up to speed really quick. So really in cell architecture, there's 3 major points. You got your mobile station. Again, there's all these sub points, but I don't have time to go through all of them. So you have your mobile station, your base station subsystem, which is your radio towers, your radio tower controllers, etc. Excuse me. And then your network and switching subsystem. This is kind of the back of house, back at the data centers and the regional areas that actually connects you to the POTS networks and the data networks. Those are the 3 major parts of a cell architecture. Don't get me wrong, there's more sub parts for each of the individual parts, and there may be more additional major parts, but this is what we care about for femtocells. Here in the States, there's 2 big players, in the 2 big technologies. In the GSM market, we've got AT&T and T-Mobile. Don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of other players. And CDMA, we got Verizon, Sprint, and US Cellular. And Boost Mobile, but they aren't worthy enough to be on there. Ooh. For cell frequencies, we've got 3 major ranges. We got the 800, 850, and 1900 range. This is for CDMA and GSM. These are the frequencies. Enough said. And we kind of need to know how these cell phones actually communicate and talk. If you want to know more about GSM, GSM, they didn't do CDMA. The GSM handshake, the GSM encryption, honestly, go buy the DVD that says GSM Seriously. Don't wait until it's out on the Shmoocon website in 6 months or so, whenever it comes out. Go help support the guys who are doing the video here. It's awesome. It's not expensive. The GSM Seriously talk is an awesome talk, some awesome cutting stuff when it comes to cell encryption, decryption, etc. But so this is the basic GSM handshake. You've got your mobile station, your base station, and your network and switching system. Basically, the mobile station says, hey, here's my serial number, my IMSI. On the back end, the NSS basically gives a random number to make this session unique, the result of encrypting that random number, and KC, which is going to be the encryption key used for this system. Now that encryption key used for this current session is based on the private key of the phone that both the MS and the NSS know. Good? Got it? Follow so far? Cool. I could have made it more visual, but I was lazy and did these slides yesterday. So basically it sends it to the base station. The base station sends only the random number to the mobile station. The mobile station then goes, all right, cool, I got a random number. I'm going to encrypt this random number, basically create a hash, and run it through my algorithm. I'm going to get KC, which you know too, because obviously we both know my own private key, and a response, which is a hash value of the random number. I'm going to send the response back to you saying, hey, this is what I got. We cool? And then we start talking. And we set up encryption optionally. I'll touch on that in a second. UMTS, A53, and HSPDA. DPA, PDA, I'm tired. Same basic thing, but it's a little different. Now in GSM, basically just the handset authenticates with the system, but the system doesn't authenticate with the handshake. So I could just go ahead and use my phone on non-3G and connect to any system that accepts me, which is awesome, right? So basically in UMTS A53, the NSS actually gives an AUTM, which is the authentication for the network, which is basically, again, a hash value based on that random number and the private key. Sends it to the phone with the random number. That way the mobile station goes, oh yeah, okay, the hash checked out on my end, you're good. Here's my response. And again, the handshake. What's interesting to note here is actually encryption is native on this for HSPDA. And the encryption, from what I've read, again, if I'm wrong, please correct me, is between the NSS and the MS, not the base station. I'm waiting for someone to know. Right? Cool, awesome. So for encryption, there's 4 basic types for GSM. A50, which is non-encryption. A51, which, again, the GSM Seriously talk, I'm sorry I keep plugging them, but awesome work, guys. Broken, there's rainbow tables out there. A52 is the weak sauce version of A51 for export. And A53 is going to be that HSPDA stuff and UMTS stuff. There's papers that just came out recently that says it's being broken, and I don't know how academic-y they were getting broken or if they actually had a really proof of concept, but I'll believe it when I actually see it, just like the A51. So that's all kinds of awesome. CDMA is a little different here. It's a it's a little more complicated of a handshake here. So I'm going to try to explain